Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 4, Text 45. Shri Yudish Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Putran Viprantikulam Svan.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Naivagam Aparoyata. Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Putran Vipratikulam Svan.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Pitara Putravatsalaha.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Upalabhante Shikshartam.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Naivagam Aparoyata.
Putran.
Putran.
Sons.
Son.
Vipratikulam.
Vipratikulam.
Who act against the will of the Father.
Who act
Act against the will of the Father.
Svan.
Svan.
Their own.
their
Their
own.
own.
Pitara.
Pitara.
Fathers.
Fathers.
Putravatsalaha.
Putravatsalaha.
Being very affectionate to the children.
Being very affectionate to the children.
Upalabhante.
Upalabhante.
Chastise.
Chastise.
Shikshartam.
Shikshartam.
To teach them lessons.
To teach them lessons.
Na. Not.
Not.
Eva.
Eva.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Agham.
Agham.
Punishment.
Punishment.
Apara.
Apara.
An enemy.
Enemy.
Yata.
Yata.
Like.
Like.
A father and mother are always affectionate to their children. When the children are disobedient, the parents chastise them, not due to enmity, but only for the child's instruction and welfare. How did Hiranyakashipu, the father of Prahlad Maharaj, chastise such a noble son? This is what I am eager to know. And we also read the next verse. Kim utanu vasan sadhums tadresham gurdevatan itan kautuhalam brahman asmakam vidhama prabho pito putraya yadvesho maranaya prayojitaha. Maharaj Yudhisthira further inquired, how was it possible for a father to be so violent toward an exalted son who was obedient, well-behaved and respectful to his father? O Brahman, O Master, I have never heard of such a contradiction as an affectionate father's punishing his noble son with the intention of killing him. Kindly dissipate our doubts in this regard. Purport. In the history of human society, an affectionate father is rarely found to chastise a noble and devoted son. Therefore Maharaj Yudhishthira wanted Narada Muni to dissipate his doubts. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 7th canto, 4th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Hiranyakashipu terrorizes the universe. Om Adyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Shakshurandritam Vina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukham Karoti Varshalam Panguram Gayate Girim Yatkripan Tamamade Shri Gurudinatharinam Varchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanapalabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. And a father and mother are always affectionate to their children. When the children are disobedient, the parents chastise them, not due to enmity, but only for the child's instruction and welfare. How did Hiranyakashipu, the father of Brahmaraj, chastise such a noble son? This is what I am eager to know. Maharaj Yudhishthira further inquired, how was it possible for a father to be so violent toward an exalted son who was obedient, well-behaved and respectful to his father? O Brahman, O Master, I have never heard of such a contradiction as an affectionate father is punishing his noble son with the intention of killing him. Kindly dissipate our doubts in this regard. And did any of you hear any stories from the scriptures of the parents behaving badly towards their offspring? There are a few instances where you can say out of the ordinary. In the Bhagavatam, we have the story of a person who he actually kills his own mother, doesn't he? Parshuram, yeah. And that was by the order of his father. So this is quite out of the ordinary. What was the reason for this? Yes, tell me.
Because his mother had seen a Gandharva king in a lake in association with his wives and so on. So
Yeah.
he had become attracted.
She was being unchaste in her mind.
Yes, you may say so.
Mentally unchaste. And Jamadagni, he's her husband. He immediately observed this mental change in his wife. In days of, maybe not only in days of old, but I guess between wife and husband, they will be able to see, maybe at least if they are little intelligent, they will be able to see these things in the spouse. But of course, before they were much more sharp. They were not dulled down in their senses and intelligence by all this taboo that we are dished out with here in the form of the media, and the whole atmosphere is also pervaded by moral ignorance. So here our minds can be quite dull, not so sharp, but in previous times they were very much more sharp. So all these codes of behavior between family members is very important, of course, and practiced very strictly. That's needed. We have some other instances also talking about chopping of the heads of family members. Wasn't it also, how did Ganesh get his elephant head? Ganesh is the son of Shiva and Parvati. Ganesh was put to guard I don't know the story totally, but there is something like this, that he was put to, he was standing guard for his mother. Part of it, and somewhere or other Shiva he came, isn't it? Shiva came, and somewhere or other he didn't recognize Ganesh as his son, and so Ganesh said, "No, you cannot enter." So Shiva is chopped off the head of his son, right? You know the story?
Something, yeah, it is like this. I mean, he was born like she had kind of made him, even maybe without
Without Shiva's knowing.
Without Shiva's knowing, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Kind of. I don't know if it was from mud or something, clay, and then like that. And then she had to take a bath, so she said that you stand guard, nobody should enter.
Yeah.
And then Shiva happened to come along. Like
Yeah.
that.
And Shiva then quickly he got the head of an elephant. So he found an elephant who had done some kind of inauspicious act, I heard.
I don't know if it was like that, or maybe like go to the north direction. He directed his followers.
The elephant somewhere or other he was. I just heard this from a person from India. I don't know if this. But this elephant it also was kind of he had done something out of the Vedic. He had broken some Vedic rule, which we don't even think very much about. Some kind of sudden Vedic rule, he had broken that, so that then he was fit to be shot the head off. So then Shiva took that head and then put it on the he replaced that with the human head. So then we have the Ganesh elephant head. There's also another story in Mahabharata. Actually, there are also a few stories of mothers being harsh with their sons, like this. Is it Kadru? She had one of the sons. When Kashyap Muni, he marries the daughters of Daksha, and each of these daughters are like the mothers, the different species of the universe. So one of the wives of Kashyap, her name is Kadru. This is told in the Mahabharata. So Kadru is the mother of the snakes, right? Yeah. So then you have some or other. I don't totally remember the story, but she's having like some kind of bet with another wife of Kashyap. The other wife of Kashyap, she is the mother of Garuda and also Arun, which is the chariot driver of Surya, the sun.
Vinata.
Vinata. So they are, one time they are seeing the horse, the celestial horse named Uchai. It's a very peculiar story that they're saying, this horse is so fantastic. And then afterwards they're discussing whether the horse had a black tail or a white tail. and they're saying they're not 100% sure what was the case. So one person, Kadru or Vinata, I don't remember. Yeah, Kadru. She says that he had a black tail. The horse had a black tail. Vinata says she thinks he had a white tail. Okay, so the one who is correct is going to be the slave of the other. So actually, Vinata, she was correct. The horse had actually a white tail. But then Kadru, she has 100 snake sons, black snakes. So she asks them to please, because they say, let's check tomorrow what is actually the case. Let's have a darshan of Uchayashram tomorrow, and then we see if he had a black tail or a white tail, and the one who was correct was two, then the one who was failing should be the slave of the other. So then Kadru, she arranges that please tomorrow morning, when we're going to see this horse again, then please use snakes. You go and assemble at the tail of this horse to make the tail look black, right? And how is it? And they do that? No, they do that. But some or other, there is some kind of instance. Kadru, she's not. Some or other, the plan doesn't work out, so she curses her sons. You know this?
I heard like that it works like she wanted. There were 1,000 or something more.
Yeah.
But she wins like this. She wins, and then Vinata has to serve her.
Vinata has to serve Kadru. Yeah. Yeah. But before that, it was actually the snakes, they didn't want to do this.
Yeah, they did object. They hesitated. That
in the beginning, they were objecting. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So then actually Kadru, she curses her sons that you should be extinguished. Like this, you should die.
There was something, yeah. Yeah, then maybe that was the snake sacrifice.
Yeah, so then actually these 100 snakes, or was it 1,000?
Yeah.
They're actually doomed to be burned in the snake sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So then actually also they're asking this question, the snakes, the sons of Kadru, how can our mother be so cruel to curse us to die? So this is another instance where the mother is like exceptional feeling, where these kinds of things, where the mother is like exceptionally cruel to those people.
There was also this incident with this king, was that Chitraketu, who had 1 million queens.
Yeah.
And then he got that little son, and because he neglected all the other queens, and he only focused on his favorite queen, who got this little son, and all the others poisoned the child.
Yeah, but of course it was not directly their own son. Of course,
but still it is considered.
Yeah, it is exceptionally cruel. Actually, this brings me into another story, which directly takes this point. That usually a mother, towards her own son, she cannot, be cruel like this. So you have the instance also, another instance in the scripture, also a very funny story, which I also don't remember totally, but the point is there, it's like a sun god, Vivaswan. He has a wife. What's the name of the wife of Vivaswan? Anyway, this wife, she some or other, how is it? Yeah, she couldn't tolerate the effulgence of the sun. It was too warm or something like this. Some or other, she makes an expansion, which is Chaya. It's like a shadow expansion of herself. How is it again? And then and then the sun here also have the sun god. He has different sons. Well, one of the sons is Shani. I don't totally. You heard the story, but at least it's Shani. He is some or other. The wife of the sun as Chaya. That's not directly the wife of the sun god. It's like the expansion. But some or other, Shani and Chaya, they don't have. Chaya, she's like very displeased at one point with Shani. I don't remember, but Shani, some or other, he didn't please Chaya. And Shani, he taught. Yeah, that's the thing. Shani, he taught. How is it? At least he's thinking that this son now I remember. Because the wife of the sun, now the story is very complicated. The wife of the sun god, she's going away because she thinks the sun god is too warm, so she goes away to the earthland, I think actually, and she takes the form of a horse. And then you have the name of, because this is connected with the name of the Kumaras, Ashwini. Her name is then Ashwini. So you have originally the sun god, he has a wife. But when the wife leaves, because it's too warm, she thinks it's too warm, so she leaves, and then she takes the form of horse as Ashwini. And then the sun god also, then he discovers this. That's the thing, now I remember. So the wife, she then, in order for the sun god not to notice, she puts her shadow expansion called Shaya. And then she goes away as Ashwini to another place. And then, while her, you can say her duplicate form, Chaya is there, then Shani is the son of the sun god, and some or other, at one point, he just does some little offense or something towards Shaya. And then Shaya is behaving very cruelly towards Shani. I think also there is something like this, that she's actually cursing her own son, because it is actually not directly her own son. She's cursing Shani to have a very bad situation, and you know that Shani is one of the worst planets. It's like a very negative planet like this. So Shani, he's thinking then, how can my mother behave so cruelly toward me and curse me like this, that I have a very unfortunate situation in the universe? And he's actually wondering about this, and then he actually understands that it's not actually really my mother directly. And so the sun god also understands this, and then the sun god, he searches her real wife out, and she finds her that she is actually taking the form of a mere female horse, Ashwini. And then he also takes the form of a horse, the sun god, and he is together with his wife, who is now also a horse, and the result is the Ashwini Kumaras. So that's the name of this Ashwini, the sons of the horse, Ashwini. So like this, but then so Shani, he understood that since my wife was so heavily cursing me like this, he can't. Now Shani understands, since my mother was so heavily cursing me, can it really be my mother? Like this. So this is another instance of like if a father or a mother behaves very cruelly towards the offspring, there must be something wrong. It's not really a normal situation, because it said in the scripture that actually the father is incarnating himself in the form of the son. This is also said by Balaram in the Bhagavatam. When Balaram kills Rumaharshan Sutta, he just chops off his head with a kusha grass. Because Rumaharshan Sutta, he didn't stand up when Balaram was entering the Naimisharanya assembly when they were reciting the Puranas. So then he kills him, and then the sages said, this is not very good. Who is now going to speak the Shastras, the Puranas? So then Balaram says, well, I'm sorry for this. I can also revive the Rumaharshan Sutta again. But then they find out, they agree that actually the son of Rumaharshan Sutta, Sutta Goswami, is actually the one who is speaking, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is after Rumaharshan Sutta died. So Sutta Goswami, he can be speaking the Bhagavatam. And then Balaram says in this verse that actually the son is just as good as the father. It's actually that the father is incarnating himself in the form of the son. That's also why there is such a great love for the father towards the son, because the father actually sees himself as being actually incarnated in the son. So when the father dies, it's like he's living further on in the form of the son. There are different verses saying this in the scriptures. Actually, another funny thing is also that it's also said in one instance that also one's mother can in the next life become one's wife, and vice versa. This is actually also there. So and that's also given so that one should not be so attached to one's wife, because maybe it was your mother in the previous life actually, like this. But also the daughter, and it's like it can all be mixed up from previous lives. But the point, so the point is there is very, very great affection in these parental relationships, and if it's not there, it's really something very strange. Something is not very proper. So why is this here then that we have Hiranyakashipu being so you can say he's trying to kill his own son. Actually, we see in the beginning of the story of Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu, actually Hiranyakashipu is not showing hatred towards his son. So this is one of the explanations that in the beginning he's like, there is a few symptoms of that the father loves his child, and one of them is that he's smelling the child's head, and tears are coming from his eyes, like this. And also Hiranyakashipu is showing these symptoms of fatherly affection. The son is sitting on the lap of Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu is asking, "What did you learn in school today?" And then something is happening which is like breaking the ras on Hiranyakashipu's part. Actually, Prahlad Maharaj is actually keeping the rasa all the way. The rasa is supposed to be that the son is behaving. It's said here, actually, Guru Devatan, he's honoring the father as the supreme personality of God, or as the Guru. This is also given in Bhagavad Gita as one of the tapasyas, or one of the austerities of the body, to honor the father and mother. And other places said actually that one should honor the father and mother as the first Guru. That is our first Guru. Second Guru is the Guru who gives Diksha, initiation, who gives you second birth, who makes you a Dvija. The first Guru is actually the father, and also the mother is sometimes mentioned. That's our first Guru, father and mother. And they should also be seen as actually expansion of the Supreme Personality of God, and should be honored as an expansion of God, like a representative of God. Just like we honor the Guru as a representative of God, we should also honor the father and mother as a representative